Hello lovely viewer. Welcome back to my channel. These sparkling heart earrings are one of my favorite things to make, and today I'm showing you exactly how they're done. We'll start with just liquid resin and glitter, and I'll guide you through my entire process from start to finish. If that sounds good to you, stick around and let's get started. I use a special resin tape. I attach a popsicle stick to the end to serve as a handle. I cut the tape and secure the new end with a second one. Now I can move it if I need to. It will not stick to my gloves. I place the heart bezels onto the tape. I position them close together to save space. I managed to fit 14 hearts on my strip. Looking back, I bet I could have squeezed in 16 if I'd been more careful with the spacing. I press each heart firmly onto the tape to ensure a perfect seal. This is a critical step. Any small gap will allow the resin to leak. I mix a small amount of resin. Any type will work for this step. We only need enough to act as a binder for the glitter. I am making 3 different colors, so I divide the resin into 3 mixing cups. Each cup will get a different color of glitter. My resin is full of bubbles, but for this technique it is not an issue. I am spraying the resin with 99% isopropyl alcohol. This helps to pop the bubbles. This first glitter is my favorite for today's project. It's a beautiful mix of autumn browns and it's a chunky glitter, not a fine one. I cannot give you an exact amount for the glitter or the resin. The goal is a thick paste that does not flow easily, and the glitter is well mixed with the resin. This technique is very forgiving, so you don't have to be too precise. The resin basically acts as a strong glue for all the glitter particles, holding them together so the final piece is solid. As long as you have a thick paste and you don't see any dry glitter, you've done it perfectly. You really can't go wrong here. Don't forget to put the lid back on your glitter. Trust me, cleaning up an elbow spill is a lesson you only want to learn once. I love this pink glitter too. I've used it before, so I know the final result is going to be gorgeous. I'm repeating the exact same steps for the other colors, mixing until I get a thick paste. To keep things moving, I'll speed this section up. Finally, I'm mixing a glittery white. It's a more classic and subdued choice. I prepped some extra bezels off screen because I knew I'd have leftover resin. I hate letting good resin go to waste. Using a thick toothpick, I pick up a small amount of the resin. I carefully guide the mixture into the bezel, spreading it out to fill all the edges and corners. The key is to create a full level surface without it overflowing. And this is where the thick consistency is so helpful. It doesn't flow everywhere, so I have plenty of time to spread it evenly. If I accidentally overfill a heart like this one, I have enough time to scoop out the excess before it overflows. I'll fast forward through finishing these white hearts to keep things moving. I'll be sure to give you a nice close-up before I start on the next color. Can you see them doming? Let's continue with the pink hearts. This one is a bit trickier to work with. The pink glitter is much chunkier than the white, so it's easier to make a mistake. As you can see, I don't let a single drop of resin go to waste. That's right, I'm even scraping the mixing spatula clean. Working with this chunky glitter is trickier, because the large flakes make it hard to fill the tip of the heart properly. The weight of the glitter is also a factor. Because it's a heavier mix, it tends to fall off the tool, which results in more time spent cleaning the edges and pulling back any excess. I'll fast forward while I finish up the pink hearts, and I'll see you back here when it's time for the brown ones. These heart earrings are one of my most popular items. They are one of my personal favorites too. I find myself constantly making new batches. I guess people just love how sweet and sparkly they are. And here they are. The pink hearts are all filled. Time for my favorite color of the set, the brown. This is another chunky glitter, so it's the same struggle to fill the hearts. But it is so worth it. This color is so gorgeous. My only regret is not buying a bigger jar of it. This glitter is just too beautiful to waste. I'm making sure I get every last sparkly bit off this spoon. My job here is the same as before. Fill the hearts, make sure there are no gaps, and keep them all level. I'll speed this part up as well and show you a close-up at the end. I'm making a few extra of the brown hearts because I just love this color. But of course no resin will go to waste. I'm using the leftovers from all 3 mixes to fill up that second batch I prepped off camera. I'll be adding lots of new earrings to the web shop in the coming days. All filled. What's your favorite? What to do for the next 24 hours? We could fill this second batch. Just kidding. Let's just pretend a day has passed. Alright. 24 hours later. It's the moment of truth. Let's see how these turned out. This first one is perfect. Now if I could just figure out where the camera is. Sorry, just wanted to give you a good look. This second one has some minor overflow, but I can clean it up in no time. So here's the deal with this tape. The good news is it's super sticky, so it stops resin leaks. The bad news: so sticky it can leave a layer of adhesive on the back. Luckily you can just rub it off, but it is a little annoying. And here is exactly what I was talking about. See that? The adhesive stretches like chewing gum and sticks right to the back. Luckily while it's fresh it just rubs right off. I'm going to fast forward through peeling the rest of these, but I promise I'll show you all of them together in a moment. I'd love to ask for your help with my goal of reaching 5,000 subscribers this year. Liking and subscribing are incredible free ways to help me grow. Another way is by visiting my web shop, where you'll find these earrings among other lovely ones. And I'm excited to announce a special deal starting October 1st. If you buy 2 pairs of these earrings, you can get a third one for free. But honestly, any support you show means so much. Thank you for being here. I know I said I'd show you the whole batch, but they all came out just as lovely as these. Every single one turned out perfectly. This next step is visually straightforward, so I'll fast forward through it. As you watch, let me explain the challenge here. For this step, I'm preparing a new strip of resin tape, just like at the very beginning. The main difference now is that the hearts are filled, which makes things a little tricky. We need to place the hearts face down on the tape. Because the front is domed, the main challenge is getting the back of the heart perfectly level. A slight tilt will cause the next layer of resin to run off the side. So I'm taking my time here. I wasn't satisfied with my first attempt, so I changed my plan completely off camera. The goal was to get the hearts perfectly level. I found that 2 smaller strips of tape and a silicone mold worked much better. I made my resin off camera. And of course it's full with bubbles. But it doesn't matter, I will use such a small amount on each heart that the bubbles will pop right away. I have to be honest, I find this to be the most nerve-wracking step. It requires so much precision. You have to place the jump ring right in the, what's it called? The little dip at the top of the heart. The tricky part is that the slippery rings love to slide out of place. And you have to place all of them before adding the drop of resin that will lock them in place. I wanted to speed up most of this step because honestly, it's a bit embarrassing to watch me try to place these slippery rings. They slide around, they fall off. It's a real clown show. And on top of all that, I keep moving out of frame. I get so focused on the tiny details I completely forget I'm filming. I'll spare you the slow motion struggle. I'm going to add a drop of resin to each of these rings now. This isn't the final layer. It's just a little trick I use. This small drop tacks the jump ring down so it won't slide around while I'm working on the other hearts. It makes the process much less stressful. After a final check to ensure everything is perfectly placed, I'm moving this batch out of the way to keep it safe from accidental bumps. Time to start on the next batch of hearts. I won't show this whole process again, because watching me struggle with these isn't very entertaining. We'll just skip ahead to the part where I add the final layer of resin. It's time to apply the final resin coat to the back of the hearts. This is a delicate process that requires a lot of focus. It's a real balancing act. Too much resin will overflow, but too little will cause it to pull away from the edges. I'll show you how I do a couple and then I'll speed through the rest. These jump rings are still giving me trouble. They just won't stay put. I have to apologize, I know I keep drifting to the edge of the screen while I work. If there was another camera angle, you'd just see me with my tongue sticking out, completely forgetting I'm being filmed. I'll edit it to make sure you always have a clear view of the important parts. I had to edit out the end of that last section because I was completely out of frame. But now we're on to the third and final batch. Fingers crossed I can stay on camera this time. I start by putting the rings in the right spot. I add the first drop of resin to stabilize the ring. I add more resin drop by drop, smoothing it out to create a complete layer. You have to be precise here as a single extra drop can run over the side. It's better to use too little than too much. I can always come back and add more if needed. It's funny looking at the camera footage, you can see all the imperfections perfectly. The reflection shows every little spot that needs more resin. I wish I had this view while I was working. But don't worry, I'll go back to each one until they have a perfect uniform shine. So that's the process for this step. Place the ring, then cover the back with a perfect layer of resin. It doesn't look too hard, does it? In theory it's not, but it requires a lot of precision and a steady hand. I still have a lot of these to finish, so I'm going to cut the video here to spare you the repetition. I'll be back in a moment with the sparkly results. After 24 hours, the final layer is fully cured. The backs are not 100% perfect on every single one, but they are barely visible. And what's most important is that the fronts are all perfect. I wanted to create two different looks with these hearts. The first is the simple classic style. But I also wanted a version with more movement, so I created this longer, dangling style. I put the heart on a chain and added a color-matching bead to the other side, which gives it a lovely swing and an extra pop of shine. I'd love to know which one do you prefer more. I made both a simple and a dangling version for each color. I used to have a favorite, but now that they're all finished I can't choose. Turns out they're all my favorite. Honestly, I'd be in trouble if I had to choose just 2 pairs to buy. But hey, with the special offer you can get 3. I'm so curious which color will sell out the fastest. Will it be one of these new ones or a classic color already in the shop? And for the final touch, let me show you how I assemble the earring. I take an earring hook. I open the loop at the bottom, thread it through the jump ring and close it securely. And there you have it. A finished earring. Simple, right? To have a pair, just repeat the process again. And that's the end of today's video. If you watched it and liked it, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for spending time with me. See you next week.